Hello, my name is Neil Ticktin. I'm the editor-in-chief and publisher of MacTech Magazine. We're here this week with the unofficial Apple weblog, and we're interviewing developers about their reactions to the Apple keynote, the announcements this week, how that affects them, and seeing what they have to offer for the future here on what they're doing on their applications. Right now, we've been joined by Jeff Ondich from Ultralingua. Jeff, thanks for joining us here and talking to us for a few minutes.
Thanks.
First off, why don't you tell people a little bit about what your company does and what you do for the company?
Ultralingua makes language software. Our most visible products are our online dictionaries, or online, iPhone, iPad, Mac, Windows.
Electronic dictionaries.
Electronic dictionaries,
yeah,
thank you very
exactly.
much. Bilingual dictionaries, we have about 20, 25 language pairs, and that's always growing.
Great.
But we also have a linguistic API that's available for licensing by other software developers.
Cool.
So we're increasing that business and pretty excited about some of the new features we're adding there. We've been in business about 12 years. Started in Minneapolis as a side project between a couple of college professors and has turned into something bigger.
There you go. There you go. And what do you do for the company?
I am, I guess, technically president and CTO.
So, chief bottle washer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I get young folks like that guy over there to do all the hard work.
Okay, so you heard the Apple announcement, the Apple keynote.
Yeah.
What were you most excited about, kind of from the general, community perspective first?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of features that I'm fired up about just personally.
Uh-huh.
My wife and I have been trying to share music and photos in a reliable way where, I just can't ask her to use the command line.
You think?
Well, some wives can and some wives refuse.
Yeah.
Same with the husbands, but and so I think for me I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited about the camera button on the front of the
no kidding
on the lock screen.
No kidding.
And if I can just tell my mom and my dad, you click that button instead of this button to take the photo, they're happy.
Well,
about
it's
that.
pretty hard to do the software button on the iPhone anyway for taking the picture, so it's really nice to see the volume button be there.
It really, overall, it really felt like Apple has always done this, but it felt even more so like they're saying, what do our customers really need to make these more useful and more pleasant tools?
It's really interesting because the sense that I've been trying to figure out a way to put this into words, but to me it was almost an uneventful keynote. Not because it wasn't eventful, it was.
Yeah.
But everything just made sense. Everything was just like, well, of course we should be able to do that. Of course it should just work. Of course it should just do these different types of things. And it was the most revolutionary, evolutionary set of progressions I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And I think that was what I got out of it in there. It was pretty interesting. So.
Under the hood, some pretty exciting stuff too.
Exactly.
So
the API stuff is going to be tremendous. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What did you hear in the announcements, in the keynote specifically? Anything you're comfortable with? Obviously, the NDA stuff, if you're not comfortable with it, that's fine. But what do you see as the impact on Ultralingua and your offerings? What are you excited about building on? Where do you think are going to be good opportunities? What do you see as problems, too?
Yeah, yeah. Well, they didn't.
Your third second. Yeah.
I'll leave the problems to someone else. We're really excited about the syncing that iCloud gives.
Yeah.
Because our customers really want their dictionaries mobile and they want them on the desktop.
Right.
And we want them to have that.
Right.
And this syncing is going to make that possible. And that's a really big deal.
So in your case, do users have custom dictionaries in your software, or is there more their general dictionaries?
In some of our platforms, yes, and that's certainly
but
an
it's more
upcoming
about,
feature.
But it's more about multiple deployment as opposed to
at the moment
else.
it is. You're right. But
yeah.
we're also excited about that idea of sharing glossaries, custom dictionaries, annotations,
phrases that may be used for Salesforce or something along those lines.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So that sort of sharing is. It's not actually clear to me at the moment whether the cloud is going to support user-to-user sharing.
Yeah.
It sounds like no right now.
Right.
But in any case, one user, multiple devices is great for our customers.
Of course, they have a completely different technology now for sharing, device to device in an ad hoc, peer-to-peer system.
Right.
And maybe it's a combination of those that's there. Maybe it's all through the cloud. It's hard to say at this point. What do you talked a little bit about developer opportunities to access your API or to license software from you. where do you see that as being the case? Not everybody. I actually happen to have a linguistics degree,
Right.
but most people don't.
Right, but one of our favorite collaborators is Assistiveware. They make Proloquo to go, and we had lunch with them today, and they were just showing they want to hold down a button that says, what was it? He, she. Hold down a verb, right? And pop up a little window that gives you the other verb forms. So this is the infinitive, and now it pops up, and you can see become, and then there's becomes and became, and so on. And so our tool is being used to conjugate that verb, so they can populate these extra pop-up windows to give their users some choices of how to construct a sentence.
So Assistiveware is a fairly vertical market kind of application or set of applications as to what they're doing. What do you see for general developers? That general productivity apps or entertainment apps or travel apps or whatever.
If they're doing some sort of simple searches. You mean our API, right? Yeah. They're doing general sort of searches. A simple application of one of our tools is to stem words. So you take a derived form like became or jumping, and you turn it into the root word jump, and it can make certain kinds of search a lot easier.
Yeah, that sounds like a huge thing for because it's so often now that searching does not work well, simply because of the verbs are conjugated in some way, or the word is plural, or whatever the case may be. So,
and there's lots of stemming tools available for English.
Sure.
But not so many for lots of languages, and there's no one-stop.
Right. But as we've spoken about in other interviews in there, localization is one of the key ways that a developer can grow what they're doing, and this is a way for them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about?
We're working on on some big projects for iOS and Mac. For the Mac App Store. We've held back a little bit on the Mac App Store waiting for some features, and they gave us the in-app sales on Mac App Store, which we're very excited about because it's
helps you with dictionaries and languages.
It's really unnatural for people to have their French-English dictionary in one app and their Spanish-English in another. To put it all in one is really exciting for us and our customers.
That's great. Well, thanks for stopping by and taking your time with us.
Thank you.
I'm Neil Ticktin with MacTech Magazine, and we are here this week with the unofficial Apple weblog and doing interviews with developers to find out the impact of WWDC, the announcements, and where they're going. So thanks for watching.